Ms Legalista here, aka Attorney Sheila. Glad you're still sticking with me to follow what's going on in the Tyre Nichols case. Now, there's been some back and forth regarding this retired police officer and whether or not he could be decertified or not. But let's go over the press release from the Memphis Police Department about his decertification. And then let's go back and take a look at the actual hearing so that we can figure out what was going on and when is it that he's actually going to appear or not appear, or at least be heard on this decertification?
Yeah.
If you recall, Lieutenant DeWayne Smith is the Memphis retired police officer who retired one day before his administrative hearing was scheduled. And let me put on my glasses because I actually want to go down the timeline for 1 second. He was just like, you know what? I got my 25 years. I'm gone. I'm not going to be a part of this. His administrative hearing was scheduled for March 2nd. March 2nd. But guess what he did? He retired March 1st, one day before the hearing, you guys. He had 25 years of service in. He said, I am done. Those charges, those administrative charges had been filed back in February. So he had some time to figure out whether or not he could go ahead and retire ahead of those charges being heard. Now, let's go to the Memphis Police Department's Twitter page to see what they were saying about this hearing that was scheduled for March 23rd. So you have the Memphis Police Department tweeting statement regarding decertification of former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith. Several members of the Memphis Police Department are scheduled to testify today before the Post Commission to request that former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith be decertified as a law enforcement officer. The MPD Inspectional Services Bureau and a representative from the Police Academy will attend the meeting today. An internal discussion occurred concerning the department's ability to decertify an officer who retires prior to being terminated. Consequently, the MPD wanted to delay the decertification hearing for former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith to further ensure that our intent to decertify him was permissible. However, internally, the request to delay the hearing until additional clarifying information could be obtained was misunderstood. You guys, I'm still not sure I'm following this. After further internal discussions and a review of the post rules, clarity was obtained. I love, you always use a passive voice when you don't want to attribute responsibility to someone. So it says here, clarity was obtained, the clouds parted and all of a sudden the sky was clear. They knew what the rules were and what they meant. Clarity was obtained about what actions a law enforcement agency could take concerning the decertifying of an officer who retires prior to being separated. Therefore, our Inspectional Services Bureau and Academy Director will appear before the Post Commission today to request that former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith be decertified for cause. So let's head over to, let's see, the hearing so that we can know exactly what is going on here with this decertification quest. And let me just go over what they are saying that he did. Neglect of duty, unauthorized public statements, and compliance with regulations. And I think that thing with the statement was it had to do with statements that he made to the family. I believe we haven't seen the documents. I need to see the documents for him. Some of this stuff has just like fallen off a cliff in terms of the information that used to be released about this case. We're not getting it quite like we used to. But let's head to this hearing so that we can get more information about what's going on here.
In the matter of Dwayne M. Smith, the Memphis Police Department requested to address the commission concerning the decertification request of Dwayne M. Smith. And if you could, I know you've already identified yourself, but if you could, one more time for the record, please.
Good morning. My name is Colonel Sharon Cunningham, and on the On behalf in the matter of DeWayne Smith, his administrative hearing was held January 27th, 2023. So we're requesting to actually move forward with the decertification request for former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith. There was an internal inquiry as it relates to the department's ability
Sounds like
to
they need to get a little
decertify an
clarification.
officer who retires prior to being terminated. So consequently, the Memphis Police Department wanted to delay the hearing for the former MPD Lieutenant DeWayne Smith to further ensure that our intent to decertify him was permissible. However, internally, the request to delay the hearing until additional clarification was obtained was misunderstood. So we're requesting to have Mr. Smith's decertification placed back on the agenda for review.
Thank you very much. So just to make certain, we don't need any action on this, correct? We can just add this to the agenda, or do we need to take a kind of vote on that? He's not been served yet. Okay.
Part of the reason they stopped to ask about adding this to the agenda is because in some instances, if the agenda has already been voted on and you're being really formal about your process, depending upon what your rules are, you may now have to go back, vote to amend the agenda to now put this back on the agenda. So this is sort of the thinking that's going on and why he's asking this question. It doesn't really have anything to do with the substance of the certification or decertification. It also looks like he hasn't been served yet.
All right. Well, if you would clarify the grounds that you are requesting decertification for this
Yes, sir,
subject.
absolutely. So an administrative hearing was held by the Inspectional Services Bureau on January 27th of 2023, and with the following violations and charges: Departmental Rule 120 for neglect of duty, Departmental Rule 607, unauthorized public statement, and DR 101, compliance with regulations, to wit, body-worn camera.
Well, thank you very much. We will proceed forward with attempting to get him served, and we'll get him on the agenda as soon as we can get that done. Thank you.
So it sounds like my date may be a little different from their date. They said January, but something that I had in the media said the charges were filed February. So there's some sort of something going on with that too. But let's definitely go with what she just stated in the record. So what happens next with him? First of all, they now have to serve him and they have to wait that 30-day notification period. Then they're going to get him scheduled again, and he can choose to show up or not show up. And then they'll proceed with probably decertifying him. The person who showed up will probably show back up again, and it will proceed forward. So that's pretty much it. I hope you understand now what was going on with that sort of back and forth. They were really trying to figure out whether or not they could decertify an officer who no longer worked for them. If that brings you up to speed and you have a better understanding, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.